Hello! In this presentation, we will talk about sharing of benefits with the research participants and communities. Although there is no agreed definition, it generally is about how value or some benefits may be distributed in the collection, use, sharing, and commercialization of samples and data with those who bear the burden of research-related risks. Sharing of the benefits of health research is well articulated in international ethics guidance. If biological samples and associated data are used for research purposes, as happens to biobank samples, then the same research ethics principles should also apply to these samples. In the context of biobanks, it becomes a little complicated because biobanks themselves do not conduct research. They only facilitate research by making available samples and data to those who wish to conduct research. Do they even have a role in sharing the benefits of research with those who agreed to take risks in providing the samples and data? Ethically speaking, biobanks can be considered as benevolent mediators between the participants and the researchers and product developers. In the context of benefit sharing, therefore, biobanks can require sample providers to engage with communities and discuss possible benefit sharing arrangements, and be guided by the ethical principles of fairness, solidarity, and reciprocity in considering who to share samples with, and requiring them, via the material transfer agreement, to follow this principle vis-à-vis the sample donors. In this way, benefit sharing can address some concern about exploitation in research and demonstrate reciprocity and respect for participants by acknowledging the important role that participants have in research. Benefit sharing becomes more relevant when samples and data are obtained from low resource settings in collaboration with sponsors or researchers from high resource settings. In such a situation, given a low literacy, a low awareness of the research system, poverty, and poor health systems amongst many setbacks, it is imperative that the relationship between the sample donors and recipients is both fair and equitable. Despite the importance of benefit sharing, concerns have been raised regarding an undue influence of benefit sharing on the participants' decision to participate, and a potential impact on altruism. On balance, the consensus is, as the Hugo Ethics Committee concluded, benefit sharing is a good that contributes to the well-being of an individual and/or a given community. There currently is a lack of a legal framework or formal policy for benefit sharing. While the Nagoya Protocol and Convention on Biological Diversity is about benefit sharing, the convention does not apply to human genetic resources. Despite this, we can draw some guidance from the Nagoya Protocol on how to develop a benefit sharing plan and a benefit sharing strategy in the context of biobanks and stored samples. Benefits derived from research using samples and data may be shared at separate and independent levels. First, at that of the participants. Second, at the level of the community. And finally, that of the provider institute and country. Individual benefits could be the return of results, discussed in a later module. Access to clinical care or access to therapy for the disease being researched. Interventions or products developed using samples from a biobank must be relevant to the health needs of the communities that provided the samples, and be made available and accessible to these communities within a reasonable time frame, meaning subject to regulatory approvals, etc. At the institutional and national level, benefits may be monetary, such as funding of local initiatives, or non-monetary, such as capacity building, knowledge exchange, or technology transfer. including researchers from the provider institution as active collaborators, entrusting one specific part of the project, typically the product validation, to the provider institution, and acknowledgement in publications of the source of the samples are other concrete examples of benefit sharing. A list of potential benefit sharing measures is given in the annex to the Nagoya Protocol.